Hey guys, it's Crispy. Welcome to Crispy Cinemas. This is a show where I review whatever I want. And tonight I'm going to be reviewing a movie that I've been anticipating all year. And I've watched it 3 times already at this point because I've just been kind of like ingesting what this movie is about. And it's right here. This is Bruce Longo's new movie, Coven of the Black Cube. And it's his third feature film. His first one being Bloodsick Psychosis, which I review so fucking much. I love that movie. It hit me like Shaun of the Dead, where at first I was like, "Am I watching a good movie at all?" But there's things that are impressing me, and I keep watching it, and I've just grown an appreciation for it, and now I have kind of a better understanding on the technical aspects and the appreciation that's being put into the films of Bruce Longo. And this is no different. This is also not different from what he's been doing, like in a formulaic sense, where he's shooting a movie in and around South Philadelphia or other locations wherever it's convenient to shoot at, and he's mixing in stories of true crime, along with the culture that he's been raised around, and I think that's kind of like what happened. Like, he's like, you know what, I love all this stuff so much. I'm just gonna make these things, and I'm gonna make them with my friends, and we're just gonna do it. And it's more of like a self-expressive type of thing. Like, it's something he really loves, so he wants to shoot it and make it like a declaration more than just being like, look how good I am at this. It's more of like, look, this is what I'm into, and I know you're into it too because you're watching it. Like, perhaps, it depends. Like, if you're just a regular person watching this on Tubi, maybe you'll be like, what the fuck is this, and take it off. And I am going to give a little bit of warning. It is an SOV movie, so it was shot on VHS-C. That means that the colors are going to be very high contrast, and some of the images are going to come off a little blurry. But in certain points to the scenes of this film, it really works into his advantage. There's a point where they shoot it at this bridge at a park, and it looks incredible. It looks like a Stephen drawing, like from Alvin Schwartz's book, Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. It's like awesome. And there's other scenes like that where the contrast just kind of helped this movie. And yeah, there's points to this movie where it's really funny. I should go to the cast of this film, because the real strength of this movie is not necessarily the story or like the way that the movie's made. It's really the actors and their performances. These are like a lot of these people are just non-actors. Like, they are not actors, so don't expect no Oscar performance or anything like that. These are very real people that are just playing roles that they were wrote for, but like a little bit of themselves come out into this movie, and it just makes it all that more interesting. Like, Casper Melted Hair, she's like a real free spirit in this film, and just somewhat like a wonderful person. There's this scene where she tells her girlfriend, played by the main star of this movie, called Morgan Millam. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing her name. But she's with her, and she's like, let's go to this mellow show. And she's like, we're going to dance. And Morgan tells her, well, there's no dancing in metal. And she's like, there's dancing in everything. Like, there's just this thing that she says, she expresses, like, you can dance to anything. And I just love it, because I feel like that's a real part of Casper as herself. And I don't even know if that was really written into the movie, but if it was, it really fit into like her aura. Like, and I feel like that's really important in films. When you have a person in the film, you establish of what type of character they are, and then you get a little bit of sense of what you're watching. And when it comes to SOV movies, it's really hard to understand certain things because it's so low grade and you can't really understand what's going on. But this movie has so much fun into it, so much mixed beats. Like, some points is like kind of horrific because it's very gratuitous, but then at other points it's just really funny because you'll have an actor like David the Rock Nelson show up, or cameo David the Rock Nelson show up, or like just be as a radio announcer and just say funny shit, kind of break the fourth wall a little bit, say something that wouldn't really be normally said. And that's somewhat the things I appreciate about this film. I like the shot compositions; they're better. They've been the best that they've ever been since Bloodsick. And there's an actor here named Josh Schaefer, and it's really, really weird. There's this scene where he's in a rehearsal. He's playing drums, but the first time I ever saw the movie, I thought he was the vocals. I thought he was singing, And then I realized, holy shit, how is he both the singer and the drummer? And then I see, oh no, he's actually the drummer because his fucking shirt. And the dude that's singing in the band's called Orb, but it's not actually the band members. Like, I think there's a few of the band members there, but some of the actors came in to take over the role because their role calls for them to be band members in the movie. But one of the band members looked just like Josh Schaefer, and that was so confusing to me. They look exactly the fuck alike. I don't know if they're twin brothers or what the fuck. That was so weird. And the song was awesome though. Like, and it's like shit like that. Like, the movie will go into this like montage, and then it'll just play these really cool fucking songs, and then go right back to the story. And the story within itself is like really disturbing because it's based on a true story. It's something that happened in Philly, like in the 1930s, in this Italian tailor shop, and yeah, like that happened. But now Bruce is twisting it in a way where it's set in present day South Philly, and instead of it being like an Italian tailor shop, it's a freaking occult shop ran by witches, and they're selling arsenic to these unhappy wives that want to kill their husbands just to get it over with. And they're making a lot of money towards it, and also they're making people sign stuff so they they can have like part of their insurance. Like there's a whole deal being happening because basically like you're dealing with someone dying. So like that's what it is. And the other actors in this movie, I mean, like Tina Kraus shows up for a little bit, and she's like in some J.R. Bookwalter film. She's in like in a lot of like low budget type stuff, as well as Morgan Millen. If I haven't mentioned, she was in movies like Triple Xmas and Debbie Does Demons, stuff like that. Obviously, Casper Melted Hair, Hooker with a Hacksaw, Cannibal Hookers, Cannibal Cop, like list goes on. Shark Exorcist 2, like she's in a lot of movies. And Zoe Angeli, who was in the last film, Corpse for Christmas, and she was also in some Sam Hell films, which are movies that I've never seen, but I look forward to seeing in the future and possibly reviewing later on. And Zoe Angeli, I used to call her Ossuary Angel, she's the star of this movie. She gives the best performance out of everybody because it's not her whole role, because like there are points in this movie where it calls for her to be emotional and it's not very effective to me, especially when she cries, because I feel that the reason she cried in that scene was unjustified, because later on it doesn't matter. But when it comes to her trying to hook up with Morgan Millen's character, she's so charming and it works. It feels like she's totally the fucking pitcher in that relationship. Like she's gonna be the one that dominates, and she has a ground up above Morgan's character because she's at a disadvantage. She's in a bad relationship and she doesn't know how to get out of it. And as you can tell, the Coven of Witches being involved with killing husbands or wives, like it goes all full circle, and bad things kind of come out of that. Consequences anyways. And yeah, like the one thing that I could say about this movie that would be a really big criticism is that I feel the witches in this movie weren't as established as I would have liked. I would have liked them to have a little bigger of a part, especially I didn't even put down this actress's name, the black girl in this movie. She is incredible. Like just her presence in this movie, I fucking loved her so much, but she's not in it enough for me to like really enjoy her involvement in this film, and it's just such a shame for me. But at the same time, it's like I wouldn't really necessarily know what I want her to do, and the scenes that she was in, she was really effective, so it was enjoyable nonetheless. And Josh Schaefer, he's so funny. He's such a schlub, and he's one of the targets as well in this movie, but he's such a lovable and relatable guy that like I really didn't want anything to happen to him. And these are the things that I'm talking about. This movie was made for nothing. Like, it's just a group of people that made this movie together. And when you put all these motivations into it, it puts some legitimacy to a movie like this. So I enjoyed it for what it was. And personally, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10 bacon strips, because I just thought it was really enjoyable. And I think that there is a crowd for this movie. So if you want, I'm going to put links on my description. They're going to be trailers for this movie and other movies in the past. And I'm also going to put a link for his web store if you're interested in buying any of his films. And you can also search it online if you might want to rent it on Amazon or wherever it's available. You can check out Bruce's movies because this is like a guy I feel like that's not really being fully realized, and it's kind of fucked up, like to me, because I feel like he should be appreciated a little bit more. But he's doing well for himself now, so I just feel like everything's kind of working out fine when it comes to him. He's okay. But the reason why I kind of want to talk about his stuff is because I think it should be a little bit more appreciated. And if I haven't mentioned it yet, he's touring with one of the stars of this film, Casper Melted Hair. She also directed a movie called Busted Babies, which I will be reviewing in the next coming weeks. And they're doing double features together in different venues from Chicago to Massachusetts to Philadelphia. So if you're anywhere near those areas or more that's listed on the tour dates, you should go and watch those movies at the theater and also probably get a chance to buy them physically right in front of the stars. They'll probably sign it for you. You could talk to them face to face. If you have any inspirations to make movies yourself, these are the people you want to talk to. Seriously, because they're just going out there and doing it. And that's amazing. That's amazing to me. I really enjoyed this movie. And I really hope that there are people out there that would be as give it as much energy as I've been giving it. Because I feel like I'm kind of alone in it. Like the only people that I meet are the people that are like in South Philly that are enjoying this movie, you know? Like, but I really would like to meet people that go like, yeah, man, Bruce Long, you know? And if you are one of those people, like, please comment down below so we can have a little bit of a discussion. That would be awesome. And yeah, just gonna leave it at that. So do everything that I said. Links on the description if you want to look through it, and press a like in this video. And yeah, that's it. I'm done. I love you guys. One more thing I want to mention about Zoe Angeli's performance is that there is a movie that she reminded me of. It's a movie directed by a man named Christian Petzold, and it was called Ghosts. And she reminds me of a character called Tony. And Tony was a very dominant female. And it's a lesbian movie. It's about one girl who's like very shy, and she meets this really outgoing girl who's like kind of homeless, and they get together and link up. But she reminded me of that, and I forgot about that so much. I like kind of want to watch that movie again. So thank you, Zoe Angeli. Thank you so much for that. That is really great. I hope that you do way better in the future and your career works out.